Village leaders in Howard encourage people to attend tonight's Deer Control Committee meeting to talk about the first hunting season since a change in ordinances. As we've reported, the village authorized new public hunting rules to try and control the local herd population. An animal control official will report deer numbers and estimates, as well as potential changes for next deer hunting season. That committee also will bring up requests from private property owners to allow hunting on their land. That meeting is set for 6:30 tonight at the village boardroom.
A first alert out of